what's up guys, and welcome to this week's New World Interactive live stream. I'm your host, Alex Blonsky. I'm the community manager for New World Interactive. And yeah, it's been a good week so far. The team's been busy working and testing out a future update. So wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on that. This update is pretty huge compared to a lot of the updates that we've released to the beta in the past. They're upgrading to the newest version of the Unreal Engine. There's a lot of bug fixes, performance improvements, balance changes, and new content as well. And we're hoping to put something out pretty soon with kind of a preview of stuff will be in the next patch, but I wouldn't expect it to be anytime in the next week or so. I'd expect we'd be closer to the end of the month. This update is really massive, and there's a lot of testing going on. Upgrading the engine means there's a lot of new bugs that pop up. So yeah, we're getting that done, and then hopefully you guys have some new stuff to play and some new stuff to test out. And yeah, so team's been busy working on that. Couple other things I wanted to mention off the bat before maybe I go into some questions are see, I'm wearing Insurgency Sandstorm t-shirt. We've had a lot of people actually asking about getting Sandstorm t-shirts, and yeah, Sandstorm t-shirts are actually on sale now on Amazon. So if you're in the US, go to Amazon.com, search Insurgency Sandstorm, and yeah, that's the official shirt in there. I believe it's free shipping inside the continental US, so definitely go check that out. For people outside of the US right now, we are expanding, or looking to expand more places where we can ship clothing right now, just getting that all set up. But yeah, if you are in the States, you can go and check out Sandstorm shirts right now. Hopefully we'll get some more designs and that sort of thing in there in the future. But yeah, just getting set up for the first time, and it's cool that we can now go on like a really big platform like Amazon. So anybody that's looking for any kind of thing that's on their normal Amazon shopping list can also check out Sandstorm shirts. Let's see, other stuff that's happening later today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so about well, a little bit under 3 hours from now, our lead game designer Michael Suhas will be on a stream with Clean and with Karma Cut. And if you guys are longtime Insurgency fans, you probably know both these guys. They're really big content creators in the military FPS community. And they're going to be having Mikey on for a podcast that they do, and yeah, he'll be going in there and answering a lot of Sandstorm questions, and they'll probably be going really in depth in terms of like what they want to see inside the game and game design and that sort of thing. So if you guys want to show up there, it should be on Clean's channel. Clean spells his name with a K, so it's Klean. And yeah, if somebody wants to throw a link in chat, that would be awesome. But yeah, pretty busy. I think I'll go into some questions now. We'll play some games and we'll do some questions after. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have an official release date yet for the patch because there's so much stuff that has to be like bug tested and play tested. Like I said, this next patch is pretty huge in terms of the scope and in terms of the content. It's all the stuff we've been working on since our last one. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit, but hopefully you guys can be patient. Their team wants it out there as much as you do, and we just want to make sure that we pack as much stuff in there and make sure it's as bug-free and optimized as possible. And of course, it won't be the last patch we end up doing before the actual game launches. We've got more stuff planned, And yeah, of course, after the game launches, I expect pretty frequent content updates. If you know our history, all of our content updates in the past have been free, and I would expect that to continue. Is the beta online now? Because I'm going to buy this game soon. Yeah, so anybody that actually buys the game gets instant access to the game's beta, and the beta lasts all the way up to launch in December 12th. So basically, buy it, get instant access, and you save 10% for pre-ordering, an extra 10% if you own the original Insurgency. Will the new engine update help with performance? I think there's a couple things in the new engine that might help a little bit, but the team has also been optimizing at the same time as well. So there's a lot of there should be at least some improvements. Everybody asks me for like percentages, but I can never give you a percentage because everybody's hardware is different, and we hear all sorts of crazy stories about people having the same graphics cards and the same like CPU setups, and their FPS differs by 20 to 30. I think some of the time it matters what they're running in the background, whether they're running on a standard mechanical hard drive or an SSD. Their amount of RAM, so like I could never give you like a percentage increase, but yeah, there's a bunch of stuff the team has been working on in terms of optimization. Let's see. Hello. When are we gonna get a co-op AI difficulty option? Your AI are giving me a little too much love right now, and I like to tone that down, so I need that difficulty AI option like ASAP. Let's see. So AI difficulty, we should be able to do that in custom servers, and we're hoping to get custom servers in there before the beta ends. There's a couple different types of custom servers. There's the custom servers that people host and custom servers that we can kind of host on our thing, but there is a slider in there that gives you the option for AI difficulty. We do have it set at one specific setting right now for matchmaking, because like otherwise we have to do some sort of vote system, I guess, for what AI difficulty you want, or you have to matchmake people together with a certain AI difficulty, and that would probably split the player base a lot. So yeah, I think that is something that we're gonna have to save for custom servers, or until we get like a better system to group people together based on AI difficulty. Sorry, when is Clean Stream? Clean Stream is on at 3 p.m. today, so yeah, definitely go check that out. Let's see. Are there gonna be more accents, voice actors in the game? So it is possible to put more voice actors in the game. It's something that have to sit down and get more people in. But yeah, maybe you'll hear about that sometime. We do have a system now where we can add more people, and obviously we're not kind of like grouping factions based on country like we did for Day of Infamy, so we can kind of put it in based on different voices and that sort of thing, and you can choose your own voice inside the game. So yeah, the systems are all set up there in there for when we add new voices, so I expect something like that down the road. Summit is broken, too many FPS drops, and that being fixed in the next update. So Summit is literally the map designers have worked to optimize all the maps in the period of time. There's some maps that we had in previous tests as well. They're being worked on in the background, and hopefully they can return once they're fully optimized as well. Mac and Linux support is post-launch. Yeah, I don't have an update on that because we're still just polishing the game for full Windows release. Hope that weapon balance will be a big aspect for the next patch, because there's a lot of disparity between 7.62 and 5.56 ammo. Yeah, team has heard people's reaction to that, and there has been balance adjustments in pretty much every area you can think of at this point. So yeah, if you guys have specific leanings in terms of balance adjustments, I'd always suggest posting in the forums, because that's the main spot where our team is looking, and it's the forums compared to some of the other places makes it so they can group all the conversations together, pro and against, like certain suggestions. And yeah, so we can come to kind of a consensus of what the community wants, and then look to see if it's something we want to implement from there. And an example of that is, I've got somebody in the chat is, Jesus, the TTK is so fast. And yeah, the TTK in our game is pretty quick if you compare it to a lot of other games. But there's some people that also think that the TTK is too slow right now. So it's a weird balance. Like, we have people coming from a lot of different first-person shooters, and obviously you can go all the way to one end of the spectrum, like an Arma 3, and it's an entirely different scenario than somebody that's coming from like a Call of Duty game. So yeah, people's expectations of what they put on it differs in what they want out of the game. We tend to be a little bit faster in terms of TTK compared to the rest of the military FPS genre out there, but yeah, everybody has their own opinion, and everybody's taking it based on their own preference and playstyle. But yeah, we're trying to replicate kind of like a quicker TTK that also rewards well, not just like luck or somebody getting the quickest draw on somebody. What will you do about spawn camping in the game? It existed in the original Insurgency, but I think the new fire support is going to be a bigger problem. Well, you shouldn't be able to call it into to spawns for sure. And if you are getting specific spawn areas that are getting hit by fire support, definitely post in the forums so that we can go in and balance and address that. Is the remove map coming back, and why did they remove it? Yeah, so the maps that we've had in previous tests, some of them we had to go back and make significant changes to or optimize a lot, and yeah, so they've been in the background, and the team's been internally testing them, and you should see them return before the game launches. Number of guns set in stone. Will there be new weapons added in later updates? We've always added new weapons to our game over time. Who knows? You might see new weapons before the end of the beta. You might see, and of course, you're going to see new weapons after we launch. It's not like our team just gets to go and take a vacation from doing work after the game launches. So yeah, there's the guys who are designing weapons. They'll be continuing to do that post launch. Let's see. Have we considered a delete preset button yet? I'm not sure. I'd have to look internally if that's something that is going to get implemented, but it seems like a decent idea. If you post that in the forums, I'm just not going to remember by the time the stream ends. Throw it in either the Steam forums or, better yet, the Focus forums, because that's where we tend to look for suggestions. Let's see. Will there be more content added in the next update, or would that be later? So we're planning on, at least for our big updates during the beta, content will be added, and new features and that sort of thing. I don't want to get into it because this isn't really the best place to announce specific game features, but yeah, you should see new content, and we should detail that a bit in an announcement. Hopefully we have out in the next little while. Plans for more organic environments. Mislaying in Pange flowers. Urban is cool, but insurgency pacing goes so well with more natural environments too. Would be a shame not to. Yeah, I mean, we've left ourselves open to a lot of different places that we could go in terms of setting. Obviously want to keep it grounded in sort of like an authentic campaign, but I think that that there's a lot of different ways we can go. You did see like basically almost like a snow map in the original Insurgency, so that would be kind of cool. But yeah, we have our current environment set, and some of it is like fairly natural terrains, but it tends to be like, of course, deserty and rocky. And yeah, there's a lot of other ideas that the team has in terms of level designs and environments. Let's see. Am I the only user getting killed by mortar and air drone support through roof, guys? What the fuck? Well, I'd like to, like, if you have a specific place that you're getting hit with a mortar that you don't think you should, I would post that in the forums. Typically, like, mortars, like, walls will protect you, and they take away or roofs take away a percentage of the damage, but if you're close enough to it, you're still going to get a percentage through as if a mortar had struck that building. So, yeah, if you see mortars dropping and you're inside of cover, you definitely make sure that you're as far away from the areas where they could hit as possible. So if you are in an indoor environment, get as close to the middle of the building as possible and away from the roof just to be safe. Would it be possible to add ammo count in magazine only when checking round count? Has this been discussed? Want to get fancy, show weight instead of exact count? Well, I mean, so when you would be checking ammo right now, you're not going to be sitting there and counting up the bullets mid-battle. We've had questions before about people checking round count, and we want to kind of make it like a general count instead of like an exact count. Simply because like nobody's going to be emptying a clip for all their bullets, and we want like advanced players to be able to actually count bullets as they're firing them too. So yeah, that's kind of why we've been limiting it right now. And if you know us, like look at the screen right now, we kind of limit the UI design in general. So the most information we want is based around you knowing guns, knowing your environment, and not being spammed on the screen with plus 50 points or UI that you're not going to use all the time. We only use it based on, well, kind of more of a limited scope in terms of what we show you and what we don't, to provide either communication between you and your teammates, or for more advanced players to, you know, count the number of bullets that they're firing. Let's see. What's the deal with loadout menu in the cosmetic menu? Well, let's check that out now. So if I go to customize, I can choose like a specific loadout, and then I can add like a preset for that. So if I want to add a preset, I call this or something. And if you want to remove, I saw the question before, if you want to remove a preset, you can actually just hit the X and it goes away. The gore mechanics is one of the best I've seen in military FPS shooter. Will you improve on that, or is final? Team is improving it actually. So like there are cases where instead of just blowing off a limb, that something might, I don't know, go into smaller bits. Well, that might be possible. We don't want it to look ridiculous, but yeah, that is something the team's working on. Yeah, we don't want to get into a ridiculous territory where we're like Shadow Warrior, or I'm trying to think like Soldier of Fortune, if you ever played those games where it just gets insane. But yeah, we want to make it as authentic as we possibly can. I'm level 75, and there's spots where you won't get hit. It's in the beta right now, and you gotta find the spots until it's patched. That's about all you can do right now. Sorry, I thought it was a question. Just reading through. I feel that game modes are kind of short to play. For instance, in Day of Infamy, I feel like the wave system is better implemented. That means faster gameplay, but a longer game time. So if you're into that style of gameplay, I would definitely go for push. And the cool thing is when we do put in custom servers is that I'm sure you'll see servers that have a lot more waves as standard. Right now, when we have stuff like matchmaking, we want those matches to go pretty quick. So yeah, the round limits are limited so that we don't have players in there for hours and hours and hours on end. So that they finish, they get their points, they get out of the game. Will the next update fix communication problems between players? If you see any kind of communication problem, I don't know what you're referring to exactly, post in the forums. The question's too general for me to actually answer. Let's see. Are you going to add different types of ammo, such as hollow point or armor piercing? So HP AP ammo was actually in the original Insurgency, but because it did provide basically a meta that was kind of unhealthy for the game. So if you ever played original Insurgency, AP ammo was the meta because it could shoot through walls. It basically negated almost all armor, and everybody had to go take it. And we wanted individual guns to actually have like an impact on the game, and for the actual ammo caliber to have an impact. So we've removed HP and AP ammo. It's not something that we're considering putting back into the game, simply because we know that it's just going to allow people to min-max again and pick like only the certain weapons that they want, instead of having a large variety of weapons that people use. So yeah, that's why we do not have it in the game right now. Will Unreal 4.2 bring greater vehicle support? I don't believe so. I don't. The team might be working on balance in terms of vehicle physics, but 4.2 shouldn't do anything specific. Push spawning needs some changes. If you try not to die, you just waste time. The waves will go away in no time, and then you will stand there with 0 deaths and some kills, but you got no waves left. Well, it is a team-oriented game mode. If your team is getting their waves pushed down, I mean, they have to coordinate together and kind of launch assaults at the specific capture points at the same time instead of trickling in. And that really is up to communication in your team, which we do want to encourage. I'm not sure that's exactly a spawn thing. If there's ones that you think like a spawn is too far away, that might be an issue. But again, if you have like feedback on that, throw it in the forums. Will there be changes to AI? It seems I am killed by AI not aiming at me. Also, they get strangely accurate at 5 meters when rounding corners, but when they see you at 20 meters, they are inaccurate. So yeah, the team is working on AI. I'm not sure about those specific concerns, considering it's like the adjustments to it are kind of more general than that. Like it's hard to say that like something at 5 meters is something the difference at 20 meters, but yeah, the team is working on the AI, and there should be different AI settings once you start getting into custom servers. Since I'm getting this question again and again, It's almost 1 month since last patch. When is the new patch out? It's going to take a little bit longer. The team, there's a lot of stuff in this next patch. So yeah, the team is working on testing it, trying to get it bug free. Like I said, we're upgrading the new Unreal Engine. There's a bunch of new features that we're going to be putting in this next patch. A bunch of balance changes, optimization. There's a ton of stuff. It's going to be a pretty huge patch, so it's going to take a little bit longer than some of the smaller adjustment type patches we were doing back in and around September. Will Mikey's lines ever come back? They're the main selling point for me in the source version. I think Mikey said before he wanted to give a lot of other voice actors a chance, and now that he's basically our lead game designer of the game, he has a lot of other responsibilities as well. Might be cool down the road. I mean, I've always wanted him to do a Corporal Stoner voice pack, but we'll have to see. We'll see if it's something that he wants to do down the road. You can save that question for when he's streaming later today on Clean Stream at 3 p.m. Eastern. Answer question about when next patch will come out. Immediately somebody asked the question again like a minute later. Fun times. Let's see. Alex, is there any idea that can push observer to the commander? I mean, it needs to be lured out. I mean, it's a communication thing. We can't necessarily force people to communicate or work together, but if you've ever played something like Day of Infamy, you know that like a commander and observer working together, they work really well, and they I think that we have to trust that the community is going to go do that. I'm not sure if we have to reward people, or there has to be like better AI in terms of like showing people where to go to find each other. But yeah, we want the actual party members to communicate with each other. Let's see. Anyone here with a similar setup to me? GTX 1070, an i7 6700K, SSD 16 gigabytes RAM, and DDR3. It knows how the game's performance is at the moment. Well, I mean, you could take my setup, or like my word is a bit biased because I work for New World, but that's very similar to my setup. I've got a 1070. I've actually got an older CPU. I've got a 2600K. An SSD, and the same amount of RAM as DDR3, so pretty much like you. I typically, depending on the map and the game mode, I run anywhere from 60 frames per second on the map, or depending if it's like a big firefight scenario, all the way up to 120 to 140, depending on how I adjust my settings. I tend to lower it, my settings down a little bit more, especially in PvP, so that I get as many FPS as possible. But yeah, the game is being optimized as well, so you should see performance improve over time. Does Mikey stream on Twitch? Yeah, Mikey was here, was it 2 weeks ago for our weekly live stream. He's also going to be on Clean Stream later today, KLEAN, for a interview. So yeah, you can go check out Mikey later today. Let's see. I have a 1080 Ti, i8700K HDD, 16 gigs of RAM. I get like 60 to 140, but use 1080p. Yeah, that sounds similar to me. Let's see. We found a debug menu, by the way. Any plans to add more features to it? Yeah, the team is working on like the admin or debug menu. It's should only be available if you have Arc on a server or running in a local game. So there's a lot of options in there, and hopefully we get that working the best way possible, add as many features or adjustments as we can to it. Any plans for new classes and vehicle customization? Vehicle customization would be kind of weird because vehicles are kind of like a group thing. I don't know how you customize a vehicle per se, considering you'd have like everybody with their own idea on what to customize the vehicle with. Plans for new classes. I don't believe we're doing new classes. We do have like a balance of classes in terms of what they can do, and a lot of it is about the actual weapons they have access to and the attachments. But yeah, if there's a really good idea down the road, let us know and we'll consider it. But I don't think it's something that we're looking at right now. Could you give us a hint if there's any plans in the future for next gen Day of Infamy? Honestly, the team has not talked about it yet. I mean, our entire focus right now is getting the game bug tested, getting it fixed, optimizing it as much as possible, getting as many features in there as we possibly can before launch. So we haven't even put like a thought against it right now. Are there confirmed plans for allow voice meetings? Seeing you's talking a lot of abuse with VoIP. Right now you should have been able to mute in the last patch, but there was a bug. So yeah, voice meeting is definitely something going in there. How do you get tracers to look so pretty? Well, that is our design team. I wish I could have them on to tell you, but generally they've been doing this for a long time, so they've worked on many iterations of doing tracers at this point. All right, I think I'm gonna jump into a game, and we'll come back to. I'll answer some more questions as I go. Typically, I end up playing co-op when I'm answering questions because it makes it a lot easier. Okay. I just want to check one thing here before I get into it. All right. Play. Let's go. What about vote kicking AFK players? We're still looking into what's the best way in terms of any kind of abuse of the system and what we do about voting on servers. Obviously something we want to get into custom servers, but for our servers we're trying to figure out what's the best way if we do have an abusive like an abuse-based system. Like people can abuse vote kick, and then of course people can also abuse the system if we don't have vote kick. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way right now. Are you gonna add new game mode? Or is it add new game mods for co-op games and different difficulty for the AI? Yeah, I think that's the plan. What settings do you people recommend you lower for better performance at the moment until the game is 100% done? So I can tell you the ones that are probably the biggest ones are shadows are a pretty huge one. At least in my experience, and scope quality is another huge one. All right, let's go into it. Deploy. Oh, looks like I got in midway.
Second one down.
Will there be any additional weapons on release than currently in beta or later on? So there may be new weapons before release, and there definitely will be post-launch. For Original Insurgency, we updated the game with free updates for 3 years, and weapons were a big part of that as well. And once we get modding in, there should be... I'm just gonna turn off voice receive, just so I'm not annoying you guys. Comes to hacking, you guys planning on permabans right away or give people chances? I would rather just outright ban them. That's just me. Cheating or hacking is a big problem nowadays. Yeah, so we do have like a banning system in the game. There's easy anti-cheat, which will automatically ban people. And if you guys see people that are cheating, submit a report to us on whatever platform with the actual replay ID number, and we can investigate it and help easy anti-cheat more easily find those cheats automatically. Work our way up to D here. Oh, he's taking fire.
Hey, I'm reloading. Affirmative.
That didn't sound good. There we go. Oh, one's in there. Shit, dude. Oh, God. Woohoo! Yep. I was reloading, and the guy cell phone bomb running right at like 3 of us.
Clear.
Console release early or late 2019. We haven't released an actual release date for console yet, so. Oh shoot! Nice grenade. Let's see. Downloading the game right now. Can't wait to play. Oh, that's awesome, man. Hope you enjoy it. There is a drop the gun, drop your weapon voice line, so we'll be able to drop our weapons. I think that's more of just a like a voice line that's more like a color voice line than anything. You can drop a weapon if you're picking up other weapons, though. Straight dropping a weapon wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Loading. Frag out.
Ease down. Okay, they're on F. Let's work your way up here. Whew.
I need to load.
This guy's got me covered. Oh crap, this is a defense scenario. Let's get inside. Here comes the mortars. 30 more seconds. Oh God. Oh. Goodbye. Blocking. Okay, we got it. Wow, that guy took it. Unfortunately, I don't think I can get near the actual ammo crate. And I kind of need it at this point. There we go.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
All right, let's move up to golf. Somebody saw me. I didn't see where the shot came from, though. Okay. Nothing there. Looks like he's got it. Okay, we're back downstairs to defend while he sets up the bomb. I think that grenade got him. Capture. I think this defense is really hard. Yeah, this defense on this point is crazy hard.
We got guys on the point.
Can I trigger a landmine by stepping on it? Only if you're the enemy team. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Okay.
Alright, come on!
Still 2 minutes left.
Changing my magazine! Affirmative! Loading! Loading!
They're on our objective.
Uh-oh. There he is.
They're coming in! Stand down!
Shit! Ah, no. I was looking at the grenade.
Yeah, he's dead.
Alright, I guess I can answer more questions, that means. Is there any status update on the refinery map situations heard by some who scrapped? Not scrapped, it's just been working on in the background. It'll get in as soon as team's done working on it. What's my score now? Let's see. 11, 3, and 2 apparently.
Frag out! Frag out!
And then there was 2. 35 seconds. I guess I could have tried to melee him.
Ah, fuck! They're on the point!
Uh-oh. Heard another bomb. Still 2 left. Oh, just hide, dude!
Ah, Christ!
Oh, thank God. Alright. Hey, we did it. All right, we'll play. I think we'll play one more round, and then I'll get back to some full-time questions. Will there be a way to change everything to Comic Sans? I hope so. Why the dev rank? Because I'm on the development team, dude. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because people are like, oh, there's a dev in here, and usually they behave a little bit more, but sometimes they behave a lot less when they see a dev in the game and just ask you a million questions. So, but it's part of my job, and I love doing it. Oh, looks like I'm in with some of the guys that were in the last game. Will we have more attachments to the full game? I think the team will end up adding probably some more attachments after launch. But yeah, if you have any cool ones in mind, throw them in the forums and see what people think. Alex, t-shirts? Yeah, t-shirts are available. If you're in the US, go to Amazon, search Insurgency Sandstorm, and those t-shirts in there now should be official. They're US only, and we're hoping to expand to other regions soon, which would be nice because these ones that I got from E3 are starting to wear out. Well, I hear them on the other side. Dude, I'm in here. What the hell? That guy's insane. I'm spending so much time looking at him. Do you have a number on how many different cosmetic items in the game at the moment? I'm a cosmetic fanatic. Love the look Love to change my look that often. I'm not sure how many in total. I'd have to look it up, and we're planning on adding more. So I wish I could give you an exact number, but I believe there's actual counts if you go to like the main screen in game, so you can go take a look. Muhahaha. Move. Whoa. I think I might stay away from those windows. I'm going outside. Oh. Oh! I guess that's why you stay inside. I got him. Okay, let's move up. Oh, there's one there. Let's move under the bridge. Oh no, miss. Horrific miss. Oh god, I didn't know I was the last one left. Alex, my friend says you are around 20s. I think you're around 40. What is it? A girl never tells her age. What about bullet drop? I thought bullets being projectiles were supposed to be a thing. I haven't seen anything like it. Bullet drop does occur on shooting at long range, so very long range. There's a certain distance in which it takes place. It's not on every bullet. Its hits gain up to a certain point, and if the bullet is going to go further than that, it takes bullet drop into account. Don't throw a grenade. Don't throw a grenade. Oh no. Saw me. Saw one go that way. See if I can move in.
All right, I'm on A.
Let's watch these doorways. That didn't sound good. Oh, you got him.
Okay, we captured A.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's move up.
Hang on.
That sounded like an RPG that was close. Whoa, weird. Whoa. I didn't see anybody where they're shooting me. Oh, there he is. Woohoo! Crawl away, crawl away. Ooh, that looked a little rough.
That was a lot.
Get the fucking cover! Last magazine! Hey, where's that guy?
All right, let's move up. See if my aim is better this time. Yep. Flush those bots out. Oh no. Should have reloaded. Should have reloaded everything. Reload everything now. Whoa. Not sure what happened there. Any chance that I had the option to shoot a window wagon while riding shotgun or the back seat? Right now, we took the ability to shoot out the side of the vehicle. You can actually shoot the window. Like, you can't fire out of the actual vehicles right now. We did have that in previous versions, but it was getting buggy, so we had to take it out. NWI, are you aware of a bug where you get shot by someone who is, from your perspective, looking in another direction? If you witness anything like that in a game, give us the actual like replay ID and the timestamp. All right, I'll leave out. Yeah, I'll get back to questions now. If you guys have any more questions, I will answer them. Dynamic weather would be awesome, like rain or a sandstorm. Well, there are, what is it, dust devils? I think you have to have effects quality up to actually see them. But yeah, it would be cool to get something like that in. I'm not sure how we do it so that it like affects, like if you have to make it so that it affects how the world looks. Like if it's rainy, obviously everything kind of changes color when it gets rain on, especially like a dry deserty place like most of our atmosphere. But it'd be kind of cool. Will footstep bug likely be fixed during the next major update, or is it still an ongoing investigation for the cause? I know they have a fix that they've put in, like they've one of the developers has submitted. I'm just not 100% sure it's in the next patch. I'd assume so. Question about shooting range, and we did show like shooting range type functionality inside the game. Not sure if it's something we add as its own level or that sort of thing, but it's an idea. We did add it to Day of Infamy over time. Will we have more attachments to the full game? I'd expect any added attachments would come post-release. If you have any suggestions for attachments, throw them in the forums. Is the next patch going to remove all my cosmetics like the last time, making it take even longer to get them all back? It shouldn't remove all cosmetics. Like, it shouldn't be like a hard reset. We are planning to do a hard reset when we do launch in full. But we are planning on rewarding players that helped us beta test with something. We haven't decided exactly what that is yet, but we are going to have to do a reset. I know it kind of sucks to have that that progression and your cosmetics reset, but we hadn't finalized like the rate at which you get cosmetic items, how fast you earn the currency to buy the cosmetic items, and there's been like a bunch of hacking and other issues as well. So so everybody's numbers could be different at the rate at which you actually earn them when we finalize the game for launch. So that's kind of why we have to reset in between. But I don't think you should expect a reset before we actually go to launch the game live. The one cosmetics that actually did get removed though are like the dark and black cosmetics that happen between games, and yeah, that was kind of like a balance change. Let's see. Is there currently fixed or aware of bug causing players not to be allowed to spawn during certain waves in PvP modes? Yeah, we did hear about that bug, and it is something that the team is investigating. KSN says dynamic weather system could make a huge difference on how players play on each map during different weather types. It would be kind of cool. It's just there's a lot involved in it. I'm not sure like what it involves in terms of like performance as well, whether it would be a big performance hit to do, but I'd leave that in the team. If you do have a suggestion like that or have ideas for like weather effects, again, throw them in the forums, get some support behind it. Any console news? No console news yet. Still planning on 2019. Right now, like our sole focus is getting the game out on PC, and then go back into console development. But yeah, we've set up a lot of stuff to make it easier for us to develop for console. Stuff like the changes to the menu. We already have like gamepad or controller support. It really is about like the customizations now and optimizing the game as much as possible for the different console platforms. Will maps get stretched out a bit more? Snipers can't operate on every map. I don't think any of the current maps will get stretched out per se. But we might have like some more open maps. It really depends on the actual map and in terms of like how well snipers work, and that has always been the case for any of our maps. Like if you go into a certain map, like I don't know, let's say District from the original Insurgency, is a really more tight, enclosed map, and sniping didn't make as much of an effect because it was a tighter map. And I'd expect any of like ones that are tighter, more urban, dense maps, sniping won't be as good. But if we have more open maps, that'd be cool too. What weapons are you playing? Get out. I was just asking. I love the weapons of the game. If you could at least add the FAMAS and some other known weapons, please do. Yeah, the team's working on new weapons. I think you might see one or two come out before we actually go live. A new one, but definitely post-launch. Any changes to player models, the operator on the ending splash screen, the video you're playing looks cool in comparison to the weak lanklets. I don't know what that is that we have. Lanklet? Is that an actual like slang term? Like lanky? I assume it like lanklet is because you're trying to call it like a baby or something. Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions before we go here, guys? Lanky plus manlet. I will remind you again that the Mikey will be streaming with Clean later today. Just I assume like a ton of questions will come up for him. Mikey's our lead game designer. They'll be streaming today at 3 p.m. I'm just grabbing the link for you. So yeah, 3 p.m. you'll be streaming with Clean and with Karma Cut, who used to do some videos on this channel as well. Will we get vest customization? It's not in the current plans. Vest is really kind of tied to the actual, like whether you're using heavy armor or that sort of thing. It is possible, but right now we want to kind of people to be able to recognize what other people are wearing in terms of whether they're wearing like light armor or heavy armor. Let's see. Any new info on consoles? No more new info. What's the ideal purpose of the technical suppression, rushing, or penetration gunner? So you can use it as anything. I mean, I would say in my experience, ideal use in some scenarios is to get across like a large space quickly and to get people there quickly. You can also use it to set up down like an alley or something like that. So like if you park in an alley that you know a lot of people are going to be coming through, it's really hard for them to take it out unless they flank it from behind. So typically like the truck is more exposed like in an open area than it is in like a enclosed area. So it allows like gunner support. You just still have to be watch out for grenades, because the grenade around the corner is going to take that out in an alleyway. But that's what I like using it for. He's playing with KSN says he's playing with Clean. I thought it was Escape from Tarkov focused. Yeah, he plays a lot of Escape from Tarkov, but he's been playing Sandstorm as well with a bunch of that crew. Any plans for other theaters of war like tropics, jungles, or Arctic snowy maps? I think we do want to keep it like Middle East setting, but there are lots of different, I would say like different locations in the Middle East that we can portray. Like snow is definitely something that we've tried in the past on different maps on the original Insurgency. And yeah, there's different locations so we can make things look a little bit different. I don't know if jungle would be in the works per se. Sometimes the bots do track behind cover and still accurately take you out behind cover. Will this get changed? Well, I mean, we want bots to do basically fire support. So if they see you duck behind cover, they're going to be firing at the location where they think that you're at. So if they have like something that's penetrating, like let's say a machine gun, that would be something that is intended. If they're using a sniper rifle and tracking you accurately through like a long period of cover and you're not just sitting around a corner, that's a little bit different. But if you have like an example, throw it in the forums and we'll go check it out. How many maps are there? Currently in the beta there's 4, and for the launch there should be 6. When is open beta? Currently we're not planning on doing an open beta. It is an idea, but we did originally say that the beta, well, the original beta was supposed to be 3 weeks before the launch date of the game got changed. So we wanted to make sure that we rewarded people that pre-ordered the game. So right now the game is pre-order. Open is a possibility. I'm just like, we don't have anything like concrete to announce. But yeah, anybody that like buys the game basically gets in the beta and gets to play all the way, well, gets to play basically forever. I mean, you buy the game, you're going to be able to play up to launch and then post-launch as well. Well, you tweak the way tokens work. I mean, you get a bonus when you capture a lot of objectives and kill a lot of people. So yeah, there is numbers that are assigned to the actual credits that you get after the game. It is possible that we could reward people for doing more, or based on like a vote system. But we have to look into that and see what's balanced so that people aren't just kind of like farming like kills or just sitting on objectives constantly to try to make sure that that their total is as high as possible. We want to make sure that people do play objectives, but we don't want them like farming scores more than we want them actually trying to win the game for the team. When's the next patch? We don't have like a firm date for the patch yet. It's going to be a bit longer. There's a lot of stuff in the next patch. Upgrades to the engine, content additions, bug fixes, balance changes, performance increases. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of it being tested right now in the background. Going to be better anti-aliasing implementation. Full screen AA is bad. Well, I mean, it's an option. It's a low performance hit option. But yeah, there should be more AA options in the future. Let's see. Will there be more racist voices to choose in the final game in terms of customization? Perhaps Australians, Germans, Koreans, etc. for security using different accents. Yeah, I mean, we could add more voices. It is an option. We have put in a system in there so you can customize which voice you have. And in terms of like anybody's like how they look, yeah, we can add more options to that as well. That's the cool part about the new customization system, is that it's open-ended, so there's a lot of stuff we can add. It's not just adding a skin, like an entire skin, and hopefully that works. Customization makes it a lot easier for us to add those sorts of things as we go forward. If you know our history, we tend to update our games for a long time with a lot of free content, so lots more stuff to come. Don't want cosmetics to be too wacky. Yeah, that's very true. We don't want like Fortnite cosmetics or some of these like, yeah, some of these more like cartoony games and what they do. We want our game to still feel authentic, and we don't want to have cosmetics that give people an unfair advantage over other people as well. Like if they're more hidden or they're way too visible. We want to make sure that that it's balanced so that that it's easy enough to see each character, and they actually look like they should be in a battlefield. I missed the entire stream. Well, you can watch the stream after on YouTube. We always upload it there. Or you can watch the Twitch replay. Are you planning to port the game to a new engine? No. Unreal 4 is our brand new engine. We are updating to the new version of the Unreal 4 engine in the next patch. Any plans to change how many waves each team spawn with push and skirmish? I feel a lot of games end too early on the first objectives in push. Well, I mean, that would depend on the map. If you have like specific like map related or gameplay related ideas or opinions, throw them in the forums. I don't think we're like, well, I mean, we might adjust the amount of waves in the game modes, and we might change the map so it's easier. So like, let's say the attacking team runs out of waves or makes an easier time getting the first couple of objectives, but we need like exact like opinions on like a forum and have people back it up in order for us to make any kind of movement on that. What are your thoughts concerning the competitive queue? So competitive queue is a little bit weird right now. There has been a bug in the back end that basically if somebody exits the game while still in queue, the queue still thinks that they're in the game, and it's causing like a lot of 8 out of 10 players connect or 9 out of 10 players connect, and it's harder to get games going, which means a lot of people haven't been playing it. Personally, it's the game mode that I'm most looking forward to, and hoping to get that bug fixed so that we do get more people in it. We are planning stuff like seasons and giving people at least some sort of like recognition that that they've reached like a certain level inside of the game. Maybe do ladders and that sort of thing. Lots of ideas for competitive and where it goes. So I mean, I'm personally really excited about competitive and where we go from there, especially after we get that bug fixed. Seems quite often the first objective is the most difficult one on many maps. I have mixed feelings about that. Yeah, like if you see it on specific maps, you think it's too hard for especially the attacking team or the defending team, let us know. But generally, it's supposed to be the first objective, I would say, should be easier than the final objective in terms of capture. You'll find in a lot of push games that the team will like steamroll, but I mean, that really is dependent on how each team is playing at that time too. But yeah, if you have any feedback on it, throw it in the forums and let us know. Atomic bomb strike. I don't think that would be a good idea. Especially like considering like the radius of atomic bomb strike would probably be bigger than our actual map itself. Feels bad, man. There are plans to auto balance teams by player number or average rank per side. So we are applying ranking and like how we matchmake people together in competitive based on like players' skill level and what their rank is. We're not doing it in the current matchmaker. Being able to decide that is a bit difficult. You do have people that are that will smurf, and it's hard to balance, especially when it's like a 16-on-16 scenario in terms of skill level. But generally, it should auto balance based on the amount of people in the game. I mean, we're not going to get to the point where it's like a 4 versus 16. The game should auto balance around that. I know this sounds crazy, but could I get a free copy? I love the feel of actual combat in Day of Infamy. Does this have a similar pace or feel? Yeah, well, I mean, Day of Infamy is based on Insurgency, which is kind of where we establish that pace and feel of the game. You'll find in Day of Infamy there's a lot more bolt-action rifles than there is in like a more modern game like Insurgency. But generally the feeling is the same. Time to kill is pretty similar. You do have a lot of stuff that you saw in Day of Infamy like airstrikes. In terms of getting game free, no, we're not giving the game away free. We're giving like pretty huge discounts for people that have played Insurgency before, and of course that pre-order the game. And generally, I mean, the game with both discounts is like $24 or $30 without any discount, or I think $27 if you're just getting if you've never played Insurgency before. So yeah, we're trying to reward people that have never played as much as possible. But yeah, we're not giving the game away for free. We spent a lot of time, a lot of effort making the game, and we'll be giving away a lot of content for free afterwards. So yeah, this is really our lead source of revenue, is people buying the game. What's been the hardest thing to recreate for Sandstorm on the Unreal 4 engine? I would say, at least from my perspective, probably the hardest thing is like the feel. Different engines feel differently, and while we want to like make sure that that Sandstorm has like a lot of new features that give it like a new feel and some new options as well, recreating the original's feel inside of a new engine is always difficult, and it's taken a while. I mean, I found even in the early alpha we kind of felt a lot like Insurgency in terms of like time to kill, but yeah, balance and feel, there's things that were worked on for a long time, like even since the original Insurgency mod before we released as like a full game. And even then, like, original Insurgency was basically out for 4 years, so there's a lot of time and a lot of effort that got put into balancing it and getting the feel down, and we're still going through and making sure that the game feels like Insurgency. Is the blurriness intended on the optic reticle? It depends on the actual optic itself. We do reflect light on the optics, and really depends on your scope quality settings, and I believe on your AA settings, and whether you're getting suppressed. All those would contribute to some sort of blurriness, so it would be hard for me to diagnose just based on a chat message, but yeah, there's a lot of things that could affect blur. But if you we are planning on updating scopes, I believe for this next patch. So will we be able to create community maps in the future ourselves? Yeah, that's the plan. I think for post launch, but yeah. If you know our history, all of our games, like, we've run map contests, and a lot of the winners of those maps actually got put into Day of Infamy and into the original Insurgency. And yeah, we grew up as like a modding team, and modding's really important to us, and maps are a huge part of modding. So yeah, we want to make sure that we support the mod community as much as possible. And if you're an up-and-coming map creator, you can actually go in and check it out in the Unreal Engine now and make something, and see how it turns out. It'd be pretty cool to see a lot more maps inside of the game. Yeah, who made the first-person animations? That's Mr. Brightside. He's incredibly talented in terms of like his gun animations and that sort of thing. And yeah, really cool. Somebody mentioned in chat he's got his own YouTube channel, and he's done like live streams before where he shows like how he makes his animations. It is really cool. I've tuned into it a few times myself. Will you guys be selling Insurgency-themed Velcro patches in the future? We'd have to get some sort of partner that would go and make those. Right now, I believe our partner mostly does like shirts and that kind of apparel. But I don't know. If you have any ideas for apparel that we could sell, just let us know. Will there be more game modes for co-op soon? I wouldn't say soon. I don't think we're planning on any more game modes, what you consider soon, because we're trying to polish the game for release. But more co-op game modes is something we have discussed and something we could possibly offer. Any ETA on server browser? Server browser is going in before release for sure. I can't give you an exact ETA yet. Sniper only servers, I would hope not. I'm sure you could do it on a custom server, but just don't invite me to that server, because that sounds like something I would personally hate. Oh yeah, will we ever get to see our feet? Yeah, you just look down, man. You can see your feet. In terms of in-game, I don't know if it's something we actually want to render. It always looks weird. I don't know. It's at this point, it seems to be more of a meme than an actual thing that people want. You guys prefer having a competitive scene in the original Insurgency or in Sandstorm? I don't know. When I started playing Insurgency, I started playing with the competitive guys, and while I enjoyed it a lot, like the only way to actually play competitive in original Insurgency was really for you to either set up like scrims or set up like pickup groups by joining a Discord server and like sorting each other into teams, and you'd have to sit there and wait in queue and then join the specific server and make sure everybody's ready and then go. Like, it was a huge amount of setup. When the actual competitive queue gets fixed properly and we have a lot more players in game at launch, I think I'm going to enjoy that experience a lot more. And I have enjoyed that experience a lot when I've done some testing with a lot of the competitive guys. So I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most in terms of competitive right now. With custom servers, are there ability to set things like weapon restrictions? I believe that it should be the same as the original Insurgency, but I have to double check all the server settings. We haven't released that information yet. But yeah, you should be able to go to a pretty granular level in terms of customization on custom servers. Dev team planning on adding night maps to the feature. I'm assuming that it'll be easier this time around because Unreal 4 in comparison to how it was back when you guys were using Source. Yeah, it definitely is a lot easier to add different like environmental effects in Unreal, and yeah, it's a decent option. Will there be more different push map layouts in the future? Maybe randomized if that's possible. It is possible. We've been balancing around like specific like locations for objectives, and I'm not sure how like unbalanced it would get if we start moving those locations. But I'm never gonna say never. What's the newest and most exciting thing about performance improvements or AI improvements? I couldn't point to anything specifically for either of them because, I mean, it's always granular and it's always like incremental. Never find it's really exciting for a performance improvement or an AI improvement unless you see them use an entirely new like tactic for an AI improvement. So I couldn't tell you like something specific like that, but they're working on both systems right now, so. Shotgun accuracy and range being considered balanced at this stage or being tweaked. It's definitely the most loved and hated weapon. Well, shotgun should be an option. I mean, original Insurgency, like, so few people use shotguns because it was just so much easier to use like a semi-automatic rifle. I think that I do see a lot more shotguns in the game, which is cool that there is like a variety of weapons in game. To me right now, it seems pretty balanced. I mean, I don't feel like it's unfair at any point, but if you think that that it is an issue, I think there's a couple forum threads right now you can go contribute to and voice your opinion. Medics. Can we have medics to revive each other in co-op? Not in the current plans. We want to make sure that that people aren't just sitting back on their hands and not pushing for the actual objective. And generally that a medic class would just make it so that people are sitting back and sniping, and then when they die, somebody just goes and revives them. So we're not looking at adding any classes right now. We do have like healing in terms of like after you capture an objective, there is like an ammo crate that you can go heal on. But yeah, we're not planning on adding medics to the game, especially not ones that would revive a person from death. Is the beta still open? If I buy the game now, can I play till release? Yep, beta's open. If you buy the game, you get instant access, and yeah, you play up into release and beyond. We'll take a couple more questions, and then I will sign off. I think Mikey's getting streaming with Clean the Crew in like an hour 20. How does the hit registration work at the moment? Any plans on improving it? Well, hit registration is tied to a bunch of things, tied to server settings. It's tied to actual like how the ballistic system works. So we are like a hit scan game up to a certain point, and then at that point it's a bullet drop. So there's a point in between where it kind of changes over, kind of like a hybrid system. We did release a big patch that did fix a ton of like hit registration issues, but we still had some reported. If you do see anything wrong with hit registration, again, go to the demo from the game that you're playing in and find it with a watermark and post it in the forums, and we'll check it out. But I mean, it's really hard to go on hit registration reports that we cannot see. I would definitely suggest that you use the demo function, and then we can go check it out and see what actually happened. Let's see. For release, as far as polishing on the UI visual, can we expect significant changes to enhance the shaders, colors, models? They're working on that stuff. I don't know how significant changes will be from now till then. Most of that kind of stuff is set in stone, but there are a few like UI elements I know they're tweaking right now. Will this game be on PlayStation 4, and how soon is the release date? 2019. And yeah, we will be on PS4. It can't get more specific than that, because then people hold us to that date. And yeah, if something happens, then then everybody's wondering what the hell happened. So yeah, 2019, guys. Is it really needed to have bullet physics? I don't think I've had to compensate for bullet drop. Well, it depends if you're using a sniper and how long you're shooting over. Obviously, bullet drop doesn't affect something that's at really close range and should take a long distance in order to actually you actually see it in real life as well. Do you know where the current game beta servers are located in the US? I do not. I wish I could give you a better answer than that. I'd have to go check with our server team. But generally when we move to having like the custom server browser, you should be able to find a server that's closer by to you. Right now we've put people in the matchmaking system so that that we can test like our matchmaker, and yeah, so we don't get people spread out and we can actually test that system properly. Has anything changed as far as damage through walls, doors, etc.? Not since previous versions that I know of. Yeah, it still should be pretty similar. It really depends on the caliber bullet that you're using a lot of the time, and the gun that you're using. Will the community be able to help port the game to Linux? No, our team is going to go to do that. yeah, exposing your code to the community, probably not such a hot idea. Should add a medic class of 2 people in pair running in with a stretcher. Yeah, definitely nobody's gonna like kill those guys. That's for sure. Console commands, yeah, it's planned. We have disabled the console for the current beta, but yeah, that's in the plan. Are you guys planning to fix the pistol aiming sights? I don't know what's wrong with the pistol aiming sights. You'd have to be more specific. Will patches be few and far between for the rest of the beta? I think patches will be a little bit longer than they were, especially those last couple weeks up until what was the original launch date. Simply because we were trying to do as many like hot fixes as possible at that point. And we've been adding basically the new patches. We're adding some new features as well, which takes time to balance and to test. And especially this one where this upcoming one where we're upgraded to a new version of the game engine, which definitely takes a lot longer and puts in new bugs and new features that we do have to play around with. So so yeah, I'd expect it a little bit longer than we had in previous versions, but we'll try to keep you guys updated as much as possible in terms of when that we think that'll be coming. So you're saying Linux will come? Yeah, Linux and Mac support have always been the plans, but post-launch. Will it be possible to port the original insurgency weapons into Sandstorm for mods, etc.? I believe weapons should be an option in terms of modding, but modding's coming post-launch. Let's see. Well, several pistol alignment is a lot higher than it should regarding like the pistol sights being off. If you see that, take some screenshots, post to the forums, and let the team know. Will this game ban people from team killing? I see it more often. We're still looking into what's the best way to handle people abusing the games. Vote kick is an option, but sometimes people abuse that as well. I don't think like a ban per se, unless it's a short ban, works. We can always make adjustments based on people abusing systems. But yeah, we have noted it as something that we do have to layer on top of in terms of development going forward. What anti-cheat will it be using? We're using Easy Anti-Cheat. It's used by a ton of games out there right now. Are there multiplayer servers still 16 on 16 is the old game? Have they been expanded? 16 on 16, but generally the maps have been expanded. We have... it's the number of players that works best, at least for our game modes. More than that is kind of just especially it's like a huge, I would say, like explosive spam fest if you try to get up beyond that. And we want to make our game more about the gunplay atmosphere than the explosive type gameplay. All right, so I'm going to wrap up questions there. I guess Mikey's going to be on in about an hour's time on Clean Stream, K-L-E-A-N, and you guys can go check that out. Yeah, we'll be back, should be back next Thursday at noon Eastern for the next New World Interactive live stream. If you guys have more questions, you can throw the bot of the YouTube video if you're watching on there. You can always tweet at us, respond to us on Facebook messages. You can DM us, and any feedback or any bugs, definitely go post in the forums, because that's the #1 place that we go look for for either ideas for new features or for ways to balance or to fix problems that you guys have. So so definitely post in there. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.